Hello and welcome to another Overpaid Over the Bar FPL Mini League video. And in this one, we're going to get pretty serious because we've got some analysis to do. I know some of you will be looking at the next few game weeks, or may not even be aware that the next few game weeks provide quite a few challenges to fantasy football players because there are various there are various doubles and blank game weeks. And I think I've invited the other specialist in the mini league. I think we can both say we're a little bit nerdy over fancy football. Um, I've invited the amazing Craig to join us today. Hello, Craig.
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, nice sunny Monday in Lisbon. Just got a few things to do, but looking forward to the week. And there's some good football this week. There's Champions League as well as
Yeah,
um, the extra game in the Premier League. So you've got Man City playing Real Madrid on Tuesday night.
yeah.
I won't be watching because my team Exeter City are playing Nottingham Forest home in the FA Cup, and I'll miss the first half due to work. But I will be watching the second half uh, rather than Man City Real Madrid. But I imagine for everyone else that'll be a pretty good game to watch. I don't see Man City getting much out of that, but we don't have time to talk about that, unfortunately, today, because we do like to keep it under 35 minutes on these videos. So thanks everybody for joining us. And Craig, you're doing pretty well on this double game week 24. Tell us about your team. I'll share my screen while you start talking about that.
Yeah, sure. So I played the triple captain earlier in the season, so it kind of forced me into playing the assistant manager chip. Um, and I picked slot solely for the double double for Liverpool.
Uh-huh.
Um, I did think about getting Moyes, but it didn't make sense to. I don't really want to make another manager transfer next week, if that makes sense. I'd rather just use it on slot for these four games, and then if I want to change it in the next week, I can see about moving him on to somebody else for a riskier pick. But um, I mean, it went okay. I think he's
Oh yeah.
kind of matched Moyes almost for
I mean,
the first game.
I think a lot of the people who chose
And
Moyes,
I've,
looking at this now, I mean, I don't know if they're happy. Looking at going into, you know, a single game week
I
against
think
Liverpool versus I mean, sorry, going into the second of the game week double games against Liverpool against Slot being, I mean, he's going to win that game.
mm,
I don't see them not winning that game, but um, it could
no.
it
I
could be
mean,
wrong.
Everton didn't look great on Saturday.
Mikalenko wasn't in the
The
squad on Saturday
No,
for
that's what
Everton.
I saw as well. And Mikalenko and Trent, I think they're both doubts for the derby, so
At the
I
moment,
might not get any more points from them.
it's absolutely unknown at the minute on both of them.
Hmm.
No information. I mean, it could well be they were both left out just to rest them.
So then
Um,
I'm really just relying on Salah and Pickford and Slot, really. Uh, I don't really know what the best case scenario is there, but I think I've got enough
I
points on
mean,
the boards
I
for
mean,
the
that's,
week that I
hmm.
should be fine. Like,
I mean, having three Liverpool is essential. That's all I'm saying. Apart from that, I don't know what gains there are. I think the Pickford
hmm.
choice on the goalkeeper, you sold Sells and you bought Pickford. Sells failed to keep
No,
it.
it's
Sorry, what?
Raya. I got rid of David
Oh,
Raya.
sorry, Raya. That's what I meant to
Yeah.
say. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you sold
Uh,
Raya and got rid of Pickford, and Raya failed to keep a clean sheet again.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, there was the possibility of Arsenal doubling, wasn't there? But that never came about. And yeah, I was a bit fed up with the Arsenal defence. They've not really been what they were in
yeah,
like the previous season. They were
no.
you were guaranteed 6 points every week, but
Well, Arsenal don't control games anymore. I mean, that's as simple as that.
no.
Last season they controlled games, almost every game they controlled it.
Mm,
So it doesn't mean the defense is worse. It means their midfield is worse, actually.
mm,
Um, so just haven't in midfield. They haven't actually been controlling the game this season, for whatever reason. Although Declan Rice
yeah,
had an absolute
it's not.
stormer at the weekend. He played
Mm,
really, really well. And he might be a player that, as the season goes on, gets better and better, I think. But anyway, uh, so yeah, I mean, if you have three Liverpool going into the, it doesn't matter whether you got. I mean, like Piers has triple captain Salah.
yeah, I do think triple captain will have been the best pick if you had it, but
Mm,
um, assistant manager isn't far off it. I don't think, considering you'll get another double. Obviously, they can then play the assistant manager next week
yeah,
too,
yeah.
but I think it'll even itself out in the sort of grand scheme of things. But it brings a little bit more excitement to it as well.
You have
You know,
risen 1.5 million in about 4 game weeks, I noticed, or five
yeah.
in terms
Since
of overall rank.
like if you go down to the general leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so second chance 41,000. So that's since
Oh,
the second half of the season. So
oh, you're 41K from the second half of the
18,
season.
yeah,
Okay.
basically since Christmas, yeah. So
Yeah.
I've kind of doubled or halved my rank, I guess, in 4 weeks.
Yeah, and I
But
mean, there's some inspired picks in here because I have maligned you in the past as a boring manager. And look at this, Mateta and
hmm,
Murphy, um, building up your points here. I mean, this is a great bit of for somebody chasing the game. This is a great bit of selection.
I
Um,
mean, Mateta had good games, though. It wasn't as if
and
I was
Elanga,
picking
who
up.
you missed out
Yeah,
on.
I know.
I mean, but even so, to have him is great. Um,
Yeah, I don't know what to do with him going forward, though. That's the thing. I mean, he plays in 29, so there's
right,
no reason to really get rid of him.
right, and
But
we'll come on to that in a minute. 29. There's a double
but yeah,
game week
this
next
week, yeah.
week. Yeah. Let's just have a look at the fixtures for that. So the extra fixture is at the bottom here, Aston Villa, Liverpool. So Liverpool and Villa have two games.
Hmm.
Do you have Morgan Rogers?
I do, yeah.
You see, I don't, and I'm not going to buy him. Um,
No, I see. I think I don't think he's a must-have, especially since I mean Villa's fixtures kind of turn as well, and they blank. So, like, I'm not in any rush to get
that's
Aston Villa
that's
through for
that's
the
my
double.
that is my issue. Yeah. So
Like, their defense isn't
I
great.
I don't
Both of them are
want
in.
yeah, I don't want to play the free hit in blank game week 29. So
Neither
let's
do I.
can you just see that can and everybody see the blank game week 29 here? Can you see that, Craig?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just let me just make that a bit bigger, not smaller. Um here, this is how the this is not a blank game week, right? There's 8 fixtures here. If you can't make a team out of that without playing a
Hmm.
free hit, then by the time you get to 29, my issue is
Yeah, we've got 5 weeks to get.
I have three
Go on.
Newcastle, three
Hmm.
Liverpool, Crystal Palace goalkeeper, and none of them are playing. So I've
Hmm.
got 7 players that won't play in this
Hmm.
double game week. So I
Hmm.
have a lot of transfer week work to do, and I don't have transfers in the bank. Um,
No, I mean I only have one for this week as well, but there's certainly, yeah, I think I could get to at least 10 by then. Obviously, I don't want to sell Isak, I don't want to sell Mateta, and I don't want to sell Salah. Like those are the three. If
Right.
Trent's
No,
injured,
you can
I'm
bench them.
okay getting rid of him. I'm
Yeah.
okay getting rid of
Yeah.
Murphy, you know, because
Yeah.
they've got City, they've got a couple of tougher games,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
bring in.
in this game week, Forest assets are great, right? And
Hmm,
people have got a couple of those. A lot of people have.
yeah,
Um,
and I'll have Pickford in goal. So,
yeah, yeah. That's. I'll probably try and get to him. I'm not sure which keeper, but I've got to get rid of Henderson at some point before 29.
hmm,
Um, the Arsenal Chelsea fixture is a bit of a spanner in the works because it's not. That's not 100%. I think there'll be goals in that. I don't think Arsenal.
hmm,
I think Chelsea will score it. I was going to say Highbury, but the Emirates. I think Chelsea will score at Arsenal, I think. Um, and Spurs Fulham. I tell you what, how good are Fulham, right? They beat
very good. Yeah,
Newcastle. They
hmm.
beat Newcastle last week away. And people
At St
making,
James's. Yeah,
yeah. Uh, I I think Fulham just get better and better every time I see them, and they're quietly good. They're not flashy at all. You know,
hmm,
they're just very well organized, a bit like Bournemouth, but a bit less thunder than Bournemouth have. But I think
hmm,
they are good for fixtures. I think they're good for. I think they're good not for the rest of the season maybe, but for the next few games. I think Fulham are good. And Raul is looking like a very good replacement for Gakpo. I think for me. Um,
hmm.
but I'm still. I haven't thought about transfers yet. I don't know if I'm going to make a transfer next week in double game week
Um,
25.
hmm.
Um,
And then looking at those games there, there's not a standout free hit team. Who would you free hit in?
well, you try
Go
Man
for Man City,
City,
yeah.
but like they're not reliable. Um,
No,
you
Wolves
would
players maybe Cunha or
yeah yeah
Aït-Nouri, but
yeah.
you could get them in anyway. I think the Wolves fixtures turn as well,
I
so
just
you
think
might be
about
looking to get them in
sorry, Craig,
full
I'll keep
stop.
interrupting you. Carry on.
Hmm? No, that was all I was going to say.
Um, I'm just thinking about last season when I think it was game week 29 then as well, wasn't it? That was a
Yeah, it was, yeah, and it wasn't worth it.
and I said to people, don't free hit.
Hmm.
To be fair, it was a lot worse than this. It was very, very thin. But then that probably justified a free hit as well because it was hard to get players from those teams.
Hmm.
But
But
I said
again,
to
it wasn't
people, don't free
teams
hit because
worth.
there wasn't
Yeah.
standout. There weren't obvious picks from the teams available that you could score a lot of points
Hmm.
from. And then if you hadn't free hit and then you free hit in that double game week 32, whatever it was. I
Yeah, and
mean,
we got
though,
massive points that.
yeah,
Yeah.
me and you absolutely cashed in on that.
Yeah.
I do think there's an argument again this season for avoiding the free hit and using it on a double game week.
Hmm. It seems to be more profitable, if that's the right term.
Yeah,
Certainly more exciting. I'd rather
absolutely.
have I'd rather have 22 players than 11 in a blank.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, chips at this point are absolutely, look at Piers, right?
Hmm.
Um, so Piers has used his triple captain on this game week. He did play
Hmm.
Alanga. Uh,
Hmm.
he's on 107. Um, he has Vladimirson coming in for did Flecken not play on? Okay. So and he left Gabriel on the
He'll
bench. That was a
still
big
have
call.
yeah.
Wow.
He'll still have the assistant manager to play next week, I imagine.
Yeah. So if you look at the chips that um, he's used a wild card and a triple captain, and that's all.
Hmm.
And he's now in second place
Hmm.
only 33 points behind Tom. I mean, there's an argument to say he's favourite at this point. Absolutely.
I mean, if Salah scores another two on Wednesday,
Yeah.
that's another, what, 21 points.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. How do you think the Aston Villa Liverpool game is going to go?
I don't know. Aston Villa are tough to call. Like, they seem to do well one game and then midweek they don't do very well, or opposite. They'll have a good game and then they'll have a bad
Mm.
game and then they have a good game and then they have a bad game. It's very unpredictable. They're not great defensively.
Well, they're not.
They got
Yeah.
rid of Spurs pretty easily yesterday, but
Oh,
Spurs
yeah, but
are Spurs are shocking. So
well, yeah, but Spurs are playing with players that wouldn't get into anyone else's team in the Premier League at the moment. I mean, there's two or
uh,
three players, including the goalkeeper, who let that goal in early on.
mm,
He let the goal in the first minute. I mean, you know, you can't really judge Spurs at the moment on the players they're putting on the pitch, and I do think that's a fair excuse. I don't think. Obviously, I mean, I from the first time saw Spurs live on TV this season, um, they were playing at Leicester, and they had about 10. All this attacking football first half. They had about 10 chances, and they scored one goal, and then they let Leicester back in second half, and Vardy scored. And from that moment, I was like, I don't think, I don't think they're getting, with these tactics, because they just don't close down properly the midfield. They don't, they leave too much space for other teams to play into. But I do think they've been unlucky with injuries, and I don't think that their form or their position in the league reflects, what they're really capable of. Um,
mm,
and he said they've got players coming back before the next game, so maybe they'll give Man United a game. You're also shocking.
yeah. I mean, it's a sort of battle of the sort of two worst teams, really.
Morgan
I do,
Rogers scores against bad teams. I will say that about him. If you look at all the goals he's scored this season,
yeah, hat trick
they've all,
against Celtic.
yeah,
Yeah,
they've all been against bad teams. I mean, he scored in the Champions League as well, against somebody who
yeah,
wasn't very
and he
good.
scored yesterday, didn't he? He scored and assisted yesterday. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm
he
hoping
seems to
that,
do it. He seems to do it in games that don't count for my points. So
yeah.
hopefully he can do it against Ipswich. He should do something, but they've got so many. They've brought in so many guys. Rashford and is it Asensio, Malin. I mean, I think Rodgers will start. I think he's like their main guy, but one of them will start. You would think as well.
I mean, they could
I
be
mean,
too. Yeah, those players are great players that they brought in, no question. I mean,
did Rashford come on yesterday?
yes, he did. He played well. Yeah, he played well. He had one
Hmm.
little touch that set up a counter attack. It was absolutely superb. He ended up being the furthest player back. Like with just
Hmm.
one touch, he set off three players going forward. It was a lovely touch. Um, but yeah, I mean, Asensio played really well as well. I mean, looked
Hmm.
like he set up a third goal at the end of the game. Um, I mean, Emery in charge of those players. Yeah, you could see them maybe winning the Champions League or something like stupid like that. Seriously. Um, just because they're that type of on the day team.
Hmm.
Um,
And what happened was Watkins in? Is Watkins still? Was he just rested, or
um, didn't he start?
so he wasn't even on the bench? So
Oh, wasn't he? Well, I didn't actually notice. I wasn't paying full attention to the game. I watched the last
no,
two.
I'm just looking at the BBC just now. Malin started striker. Malin, Rogers, Ramsey, Bailey, and then Watkins wasn't even on the bench. So
Hmm. I didn't see that. Well, I mean that's right to rest him in that game. I mean it's a good decision.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, if Malin is their deputy striker, he might be worth a look at. But like, I mean, I'm not convinced. I'm not going to rush out and buy Villa players for the double.
No, I'm
Like, I'm
not
happy
buying.
enough
I'm
with
not buying Villa
it.
players for this double. I mean, it's Liverpool at home. Ipswich is a great fixture, but because of blank
Mm.
game week 29, I'm not bringing them in because I
You
have to sell
wouldn't
them again.
you wouldn't bring them in for the one game, and then the Liverpool game is not a great fixture.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I mean it's at home, but you would see Liverpool winning. I mean, that Villa might score,
I
but
think that game is an absolute unknown. I mean,
mm,
anything could happen in that game. I mean, I don't see Liverpool slipping up at Everton, but I do think there's a possibility they'll slip up there. The only thing is that since they sold Douglas Luiz, they've never looked the same
mm.
in central midfield. I don't know why they sold Douglas Luiz. He must have made them sell him. I don't understand that decision at all. Um,
He doesn't even play. He doesn't even get a game for Juventus.
he played for Juventus. He's not playing for them.
Not that I've seen. I think he's because I think Man City were looking to bring him in January,
I
but
saw him
they
play.
didn't.
I saw him play a game for them at the start of the season. He played really well.
I don't think he's a regular, but from what I
Really?
14 matches I'll get. Okay. That's enough. But there was talk of him going to Man City in January. But,
Yeah.
hmm,
And Pep knows his central midfield players.
yeah,
Maybe he's not fully fit.
maybe. I don't watch enough Italian football to judge.
I don't watch any Spanish, Italian, or German football right now. Don't even watch Portuguese football. Sporting beat
No.
Porto on Friday night, but I was working. I couldn't have watched it anyway. But that's put them quite far ahead in terms of the title race.
Hmm,
Um, okay, so that's next week. So
hmm.
these games are on. We've got a Valentine's Day fixture of Brighton Chelsea. Chelsea lost at Brighton in the cup, but so they're going there again.
That's a
Um,
Friday deadline.
yeah, Friday deadline this week, everybody.
Hmm.
6:30 p.m. Um, yeah, I mean,
Leicester, Arsenal, lunchtime.
yeah, let's talk. But I would watch Brighton Chelsea. I'd watch Leicester Arsenal.
Yeah.
Um,
Palace, Everton, the tea time game. That's could be fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Liverpool, Wolves. Hmm.
Liverpool Wolves on Sunday. Spurs Man United. I mean, they're okay games. I haven't got any Spurs or Man United players, but that'll be worth watching
No.
probably.
But yeah,
Um,
I think the Liverpool getting the extra double makes it easy to stick for slot, I think. And Salah captain too. I think those are the obvious picks. I guess if you've got Moyes, would you keep him for the Palace game or would you move him for Emery? I
um,
guess you try and get the points, eh?
if you've got Moyes
Well,
and three
hmm,
Liverpool, I mean, you'd probably look at moving. What I would do honestly if I had Moyes, I'd absolutely bring in um, Silva.
yeah.
I I reckon Fulham have a 50% chance of beating Nottingham Forest at home, and I'd bring in Silva.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to stick with Slot. He's got a double.
Yeah.
But if you've got three Liverpool
And then
already, three Liverpool players, I'd go from Moyes to Silva.
I mean Emery for the double, but I guess what would they get at the Liverpool game? I mean they might get a few goals against Ipswich
Well,
as
that's true.
well.
Yeah, they could
Hmm.
score four maybe, and then you'd end up with
Hmm.
and maybe not concede, and then end up with
Hmm.
12 points from
Some
him.
good. Hmm.
But then Ipswich do score goals. I mean, that's the only thing they do. They have goal scorers in the team, and I think the highest scorers among the bottom three, but I have no idea if that's correct. Um,
then if you go on to 26, it's Liverpool, Man City.
26 is Liverpool Man City.
Yeah,
Oh,
at Man
wonderful.
City.
Wonderful.
And then if 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 things go the way they're going, Man City might be able to get the bonus against Liverpool. You might be able to get the table bonus on Guardiola if you go from slot to pick
Oh, I
for
mean,
the.
I wouldn't back Man City to beat Liverpool any more than I'd back them to beat
Might
Arsenal.
be fun though, just for the bonus.
Not for
I
me.
wouldn't keep it on slot though. I don't think I would keep it on slot for that
So,
week. I think I'd maybe try and
so this is the
maybe
last. If you have slot, this is your last throw of the
yeah,
dice away at Liverpool, Man City.
yeah,
Um, okay, I'll stick with him. I just don't want to make a
yeah.
transfer. Yeah, I'm going to stick with him. If I had
I mean it's
transfers in
yeah,
the
I mean it,
bank, if I had transfers
hmm,
in the bank, I'd move to Ipswich or I'd move to um I don't know who else is chasing. Um,
Southampton up to
yes,
Brighton. Are they
Brighton.
would they get the bonus?
I'm not sure Brighton are even five places ahead of them at the minute, are
Hmm,
they? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, they might beat Brighton for sure, but I mean
hmm.
that's these are long
It's a
shots.
luxury transfer, isn't it? Really, if you've got
Yeah, yeah,
slot
yeah. And I wouldn't
and
move.
when you're
Yeah,
and when you're trying to build up a team for 29, you can't really waste it well.
never underestimate how much Liverpool want to smash Manchester City. You know,
Yeah.
and they will go there with the full intention of doing that. Whereas Manchester City, I mean, they're playing Real Madrid twice, right?
Hmm, hmm,
Liverpool and playing nobody twice in the same weeks that
hmm,
they're playing. They've been knocked out of the FA Cup. This for them is easy to target as a must-win, full
hmm,
attention fixture. But for Manchester City, with all the new players and all the doubt that's suddenly creeping into their play, I don't see that. But I've said before, from game week 27, Manchester City then have Spurs away,
hmm,
Nottingham Forest away. Okay, they're not easy fixtures. And then in 29, they got Brighton at home.
hmm.
I might,
Again, hmm,
I might play my wild card in 27.
hmm,
I honestly might do it because no,
hmm,
I just because I did it last season before the blank when nobody else did
hmm,
it and it worked out really well. I'm just wondering if it's going to be the same because nobody's doing it. Because everyone thinks a wild card in the bank is fantastic, but actually, you're
hmm,
relying, whenever you play a wild card, like before a bench boost or whatever, you are relying on certain fixtures to go a certain way, and you have no guarantee they will, right?
hmm,
But if I play my wild card here in 27, I could make sure I'm covered for the blank in 29 and maximize on teams that other people don't have in game weeks 27 and 28. So if you look at the easy fixtures, you've got you've got Chelsea, Southampton, Chelsea at home. Um, you've got
but Chelsea won't double now, is that right? Chelsea and Liverpool can't have another double week.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing we should mention.
Hmm,
They think there is a slight possibility of the Spurs fixture that will that would have been a double this week, but wasn't. The one in 29 being brought back to 27 or 28. They think there's a possibility that the Spurs
hmm.
fixture will be added before the blank. Spurs against
Whereas Chelsea,
Spurs Chelsea, is it? Yeah, that is something to look out for. It's another reason not to do anything for a while because there could be new
hmm.
information.
Well,
Um,
they don't. They were saying what I was reading was they won't really know the landscape of things until the quarter final of the
right.
FA Cup. So
Till we know who's in the quarterfinals, which teams are
yeah,
in it. So
yeah.
it's after the next round of the cup. Yeah. So
So you
it's
can speculate all you want about
right.
33 and 34. One will be a double, one will be a blank, but
Hmm.
depending on which games go where,
Yeah.
uh, again, tricky though.
Hmm. Okay. I want to finish on just looking at your mini leagues because I mean the overpaid over the bar is obviously the most important mini league in the world, but there's another one here, Nescol
Hmm.
Staff. Now
Yeah,
this is why you are
these,
this is why you are a triple champ because you've won this the last 3 years running,
yeah,
and this is the staff of the English teaching school where you well it's like there we go, there's a trophy. Wow,
the
that's a
college, like
proper trophy
that's what you
that.
call like a technical, what you would call a like a community college or a technical college or something
Yeah, yeah,
in
well they
England.
call them an ESOL college now, don't they? Like oh no, you're
Yeah, but
part of
it's
the ESOL department of the technical college or I
yeah,
bet-
it's like hairdressing and welding and
brilliant.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, do you have HNDs and HNCs in England? I don't know how education works. Further
HNDs.
education,
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, I remember HNDs. I think we do. Um,
FE.
so oh, we've got Neeps and Tatties here. Neeps and Tatties. Okay, so um, you're in position now. You're climbing up this league, but this leader, he's a long way ahead.
He's yeah, I mean he's got more points than overpaid, no?
He's got 40. He's 43K rank.
Hmm.
Now, is this luck or is this guy a really good player? What's his history?
I mean, I'm not really too sure to be
He's been
honest. I
look
don't
at
know
look
him.
you oh he's been playing since 2006,
Hmm.
right? How many
That's a good ranks, yeah.
how many 100K ranks has he had since 2006? One, two, three, four, four. That's pretty good. It's not
Hmm.
bad. It's not bad. Um,
But mostly in like top 500 too.
yeah, he's not as good as mine. But he's
He
good.
might, I don't know how I beat him last year. He was 200,000. No, was that 2 million? 2 million?
No, no,
200,000?
no, no, no. 1 million.
1 million. Okay.
No, these are all
1
million.
million.
No, one in the last 2 seasons, one
Okay.
million, 2 million. He probably gives
Hmm.
up.
Probably.
Um, because if you're a good player, it's difficult to finish that low. Because I mean, if you're engaged, I mean, you should finish in the top
Hmm.
million. I mean, that's why I always stay engaged the whole season to keep that record going. Only I know about it. Only I care about it. But I want to be in the top million. Um, so I mean, that's the thing
And
about
I don't think,
that's the other thing about fancy football, right? I mean, people get emotionally affected by it on the weekend. My team did badly. Don't, don't. I do like. Obviously, it does affect me for like 15 minutes or whatever. But nobody cares about what your fancy football team does except you. You know what I mean? It's like nobody cares. So don't blow it out of proportion. I do, understand when people talk about mental health issues to do with it and stuff like this, but it's
hmm,
that is a reflection of how people view competition. It's not really fancy football that's about that. It's about how people, they might have a comment or it's also about relationship because in our league, like there should always be a certain amount of congratulation for somebody who's ahead of you. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like you shouldn't ever gloat and you shouldn't ever um make it too bantery. Like keep it supportive as well. I think that's
hmm.
another thing that we do and that you do, Craig, in the chat all the time, and I applaud you for that. Is you always keep it positive, and I like that. All right, so
Yeah. I, hmm?
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think we've covered most of the things, yeah.
yeah.
What are you rolling then? Are you keeping Hall, forthcoming, and
I'm rolling.
Isak?
I'm keeping Isak. I mean, I just looked at his fixtures up to 29. I was thinking, well, should I
Got
wildcard?
City next.
I mean, like West Ham
Hmm.
away and 28. I don't. They're difficult,
The
but
problem is,
honestly, I see Gordon
right,
and Isak getting points at City. I see both of them getting points at
hmm,
City. The way Man City play, they're exact Newcastle exactly the type of team that can score two or three against them.
hmm. It's
And with
a,
that Real Madrid fixture in the middle of it,
um,
I mean, what does Pep
yeah,
care about more? Honestly, you know,
yeah.
I'm
And
not.
you've just got the view on like one transfer left as well.
Yeah,
Would
I mean,
you?
I might sell Gordon because game week 29 is a blank, and I've got three Newcastle. I might sell Gordon. It's possible. Yeah, for that game, but I'm not selling Isaac. I'm not sure who I would get. I was looking at midfielders, um, uh, like who I would get if I sold Gordon, and I mean, there's so many that you could get. Bournemouth have great fixtures. Iwobi is a funny one because historically he's never been a good asset for fancy football, and he hasn't returned in three game weeks. But somehow over the season, I think he had a good start. Yeah, had a very good start. Yeah, it's only 7 goals and 3 assists in all that time. I mean, I was thinking of Ahmad as well. I mean, Man United is so difficult to predict. I do like him as a player, and I do, he had that run here. Anyway, we're near the end now. Anything else to add, Craig, before we go? Hello? I've lost you. I've lost Craig. Okay, thanks very much to Craig for joining us. I hope you got something from this. Just to be aware of that blank game week in particular, we wanted to do this to help people navigate that. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments below. Um, People never give this video with these videos a like, so you obviously all hate them. If you certainly got this far, you certainly can't hate it. So give us a like. And thanks very much for watching. See you next time.